Good afternoon, everybody. Good. A few bits of housekeeping first of all. I gather we're under very strict time restraints here, and I'm told there's an awful lot of cake to eat after this. I managed to make the prize giving 2 Saturdays ago overrun by half an hour or so. So Mrs. Willis is here to drag me off stage if I look like I'm going to go too far this time. The other thing and this is really for pupils, so here's the magic behind it, the mechanics. I'm going to call you up in batches. I'm going to do batches because otherwise everybody gets clap fatigue. If you could please come up on that side, come across, you'll be handed your book or your envelope, and then you're going to come down this side after a handshake. Please try to come up in the order in which you are called. But you're going to take whatever's given to you on the stage, and if you like it over whatever you chose, then you can fight for it afterwards with whoever you've got. But we're not going to argy-bargy on the stage about what you're given at that point. Good. Lastly, before we begin proper, my thanks to Mrs. Willis, who I think has organised this entire thing, and it is going to work completely like clockwork, we're absolutely certain. Good. Anyway, welcome. My name's Graham May. I'm the Senior Deputy Head. The head sends his apologies, but he's away for a couple of days at the moment. I've been the Deputy Head Academic here until last year, and now the Senior Deputy Head, so I've had things to do with the academic side of the school for quite some time. I was sat, as I'm sure a lot of us were, watching a certain football match yesterday, thinking about success and what success means and whether anybody was ever going to learn anything from the experience that we were having. I looked up a couple of things, thinking about what I was going to say today, and I picked out this. Learning is never done without error and defeat. Now, I looked that up partway through the match yesterday, and that's from Lenin, by the way. And it just made me reflect, because I think we're here to reflect on really what look like two types of learning and two types of success. Because the way we do this, and I'm really pleased with the way we do this, we celebrate people who've come, if you like, top in things like exams, and that's one kind of fairly obvious sense of learning and sense of success. And then we also celebrate people who we've identified who've made really significant progress. And it's that second one that sometimes is perhaps a bit more obvious to people, because you can say, well, you were here and now you've reached this point there. We can see that really evident progress. And sometimes people are inclined to think that those who are sort of getting top marks and things, it's not uncommon to hear their peers saying, well, you're just really lucky. You're just really good at maths. You're just really lucky in that. And I don't believe in that. I don't believe in the idea of luck being what determines these things. Another quotation for you from Robert Collier, who's an American sort of self-help book writer, says, success is the sum of all effort, repeated day in and day out. Because it is about effort, and you can't always see that. I'm going to tell a story which I'm sure the adults in the room will know, but there's a chance that the people in the room don't know. It's a famous story about Gary Player, who, again, you probably don't even know who Gary Player is. He's a golf player, really successful. And the story is apparently true, that he was in a bunker, and somebody who was watching him saw him get the ball out of the bunker and hold it. Just got it into the hole straight away from the bunker. And the person watching him said, oh, I bet you can't do that again. Here's 50 bucks. See if you can do that again. So Gary Player put the ball back where it was, hit the ball straight back into the hole. He says, oh, okay, right. $100 says you can't possibly do that again. Gary Player, ball goes into the hole. The man says, you are the luckiest so-and-so I have ever seen. And Gary Player's famous quotation that gets used a lot in things like business is, yeah, do you know what? The more I practice, the luckier I get. So, and it's a really famous quotation that people use to say, look, people who are successful, you forget that underneath that, there is a huge amount of effort still going on. If you're already at the top and you're winning, yeah, don't think that those people aren't underneath that working all the way. Sometimes they get told, oh, it just looks so effortless for you. The last thing it is effortless. And those who are making progress, we can see that a bit more clearly, perhaps, because we can see, as I said, the X and the Y, where they were and where they're moving towards, and that effort is perhaps a bit more obvious to us, but don't underestimate. There is no way that Jude Bellingham has not practiced that overhead kick 1,000 times before. There is no way that Harry Kane has not practiced heading a ball being headed towards him in that way 1,000 times before. It looks brilliant, and we say, oh gosh, they were really lucky to get through. That's not luck. There may be things wrong with them, with how that team was formed, but I tell you what, they didn't win yesterday because they were lucky. So, celebration of effort, celebration of achievement. So we're going to start with the third year academic awards. Thank you, Mrs. Willis, which I'm going to do in 2 batches. So just wait until I've paused, and then we can clap, and they can come up, and they can receive all your adoration, etc. So the first batch of third year academic awards go to Chiho Chow, Louis de Chazal, who I don't think is here, Matteo Ferrari Pastorino, Archie Haynes, and Andrei Kavalov. If they could come up. My instructions weren't terribly clear. I should have been better by the time I've been 30 years a teacher. If you could come up in the right order, that would help us. And the remaining third year academic awards are to Charles McIntyre, Edward Miller, Evan Pollard, Felix Price, and William Reed. Good. So the third year House Progress Awards, so these have been decided really by the heads of house as they've watched people progress across the year. So that more kind of visible learning that people have done and progress. Again, in 2 batches, please. So for Austin, Louis Coburn. Borders is Freddie Marsh. Crescent, Barnaby Haynes. Donnelly, Sam Jones. And Franklin's is Erin Lloyd Payne. And the final 4 houses for O'Doherty's, Nathan Denyer, for Pygott's, Tom Doherty, for School, Kenrick Lee, and Stockdale's is Finn Strange. So having had a bit more time to assess things with the 4th year, because things like 4th year exams were some time ago, we move into actual solid prizes for most of them. So the 4th year academic awards, again in 2 batches. So Dylan Dodson, Ben Farr, Lorenz Finn, Shrish Gupta, and Timothy Law, first of all. And to complete the fourth year academic awards, we have Sue Lee, Callum Lord, Nathan Mock, Ali Phyllis, Balraj Purawal, and Henry Sun. Thank you. And in our last section then, so fourth year House Progress Awards. So for Austin, it's Ryan Kwok. For Borders, Willem Hughes. For Crescent is Ari Ioannou. For Donnelly's, James Derbyshire. And Franklin's is Billy Brooks. And in our final batch, so for O'Doherty's, we have Felix Bridle. For Pygate is Quinlan Fieldgate. School is Mark Mao. And Stockdale's is Liam Sadler. Thank you, everybody. It's a short and sweet service. I think I'm in time, aren't I? Yeah. Just about. So we want to give you time to go through to the pavilion, have some tea, eat all that cake, and those who are still getting on the buses to make it to the buses. So, and mercifully, you probably don't want to hear any more from me just now. So thank you very much for coming. It's a really, really fantastic turnout from parents. Well done, parents. And we'll be through and have a chat. So thank you very much. Well done to all the prize winners.